Listen, you can possess charm, achievement, wit, and utter every perfect phrase, yet still witness her fade into indifference, as if your efforts meant nothing. Because attraction isn't forged through actions. It's rooted in your essence. There are men of few words. Yet, women recall them across decades. They embody something. Subtle, unseen, yet irresistibly compelling. And the reality is that quality isn't fortune. It's insight. Insight into the 5 principles that draw women toward you unconsciously. Today, we're dissecting them deliberately, authentically, and profoundly, so that by the conclusion, you'll grasp precisely the caliber of man she never erases from memory. Principle 1, you don't pursue her vibe, you guide it. Let's speak plainly for a moment. Most men assume attraction hinges on appropriate responses. She smiles, you mirror it. She falls silent, you fret. She withdraws, you pursue more intensely. But attraction operates differently. You don't draw her by mirroring her vibe. You draw her by directing it. See, a man who guides isn't about control. He avoids manipulation or dominance. He simply remains anchored amid turbulence. Picture this. You're together. She's irritable, aloof, unlike herself. Most men spiral into doubt. Did I err? What went wrong? But the man attuned to this principle responds otherwise. He maintains composure, speaks gently, stays engaged. He doesn't pursue her mood. He sustains his own. Because here's the essence. Women perceive your emotional cadence. They detect anxiety, desperation, or instability. But when your emotions hold firm, when she can't disrupt your core, a transformation occurs. She begins trusting your presence. She begins aligning with your direction unconsciously. This caliber of man doesn't hasten to soothe her incessantly. He doesn't flood every pause. He allows space to exist. He guides through serenity. And when he speaks, it's neither boisterous nor contrived. It's precise, assured, deliberate. Women sense that distinction immediately. Guiding isn't about authoritarianism. It's about possessing purpose. It's about knowing your stance, your principles, and preserving them amid her turbulence. When she's distressed, you don't debate to prevail. You remain to comprehend. When she probes you, you don't retaliate. You smile. You stay balanced. That's guidance. It's understated, nuanced, yet profound. Women don't align with men who pursue their vibe. They align with men whose vibe remains unaltered by hers. So, next time she withdraws, recall this. Don't contort your emotions to echo hers. Remain steadfast. Be serene. Guide with tranquility. Because when your presence directs, her attraction aligns. Principle 2, you cultivate intrigue through discipline. Let's be candid, men often verbalize excessively, particularly when anxious or aiming to captivate a woman. They elaborate, over-disclose, justify, yearning for her to declare, "You're extraordinary." But the men who subtly enchant women avoid such excess. They don't unveil everything. They offer fragments, not the entire narrative. Here's the essence. Intrigue isn't about feigning identity. It's about embracing partial comprehension. You owe no one your biography in the initial encounter. You needn't share every sentiment, every formative wound, or every aspiration. Allow her curiosity to simmer, for wonder is attraction's foundation. When she lacks full knowledge, she contemplates you. She revisits your phrases, your pauses, your subtle grin, and yearns for more. Consider it like melody. The intervals between tones amplify the resonance. That's intrigue's role. It permits absence to resonate. So rather than broadcasting every life detail or responding instantaneously, exercise slight restraint. Not to manipulate, but to safeguard your essence. The most captivating men appear subtly elusive. Not from hubris, but from immersion in their paths. They don't seek universal comprehension. They're content with occasional misinterpretation. That discipline, that capacity to withhold, distinguishes you. And women perceive it because here's the irony. The less you disclose, the more they envision your depths. And that envisioning surpasses any declaration. Intrigue isn't deception. It's equilibrium. Equilibrium with silence. Equilibrium without compulsion to bridge every void. So create intervals. Permit her speculation. Because in that absence, attraction amplifies. Principle 3, you prioritize bond over affirmation. Every man has experienced this. You encounter a woman and crave her endorsement instinctively. You initiate contact, overcompliment, concur effortlessly. You chuckle at unfunny quips, merely for her favor. But intuitively, you recognize it. You're not authentic. You're enacting. Here's the essence. Affirmation is illusory. It gratifies briefly, but erodes your core. And once a woman detects your need for her endorsement, the innate draw dissipates. Captivating men don't seek likability. They seek linkage. They pose meaningful inquiries. They attend with intent. They flirt from desire, not necessity. When she praises, they acknowledge and proceed. When she withholds, they endure because their assurance isn't tethered to her response. View it thus. If your presence hinges on her reaction, you've ceded authority. But when self-anchored, when not pursuing affirmation, a pivot occurs. You cease conversing to astonish. You commence conversing to unite. And women discern that. They distinguish performance from presence. Affirmation is commonplace. Bond is scarce. Attention can be purchased, but presence cannot be feigned. So, in your next exchange, decelerate. Pose substantive queries. Attend without urgency to respond. Be intrigued, not imploring. When you cease requiring her approval, she'll ponder your composure, your lack of pursuit, your distinction. That's the potency of favoring bond over affirmation. You cease seeking selection and commence self-selection. Principle 4, you remain composed amid her intensity. This challenges most men because when a woman grows intense, enraged, distressed, or detached, men react with alarm. They debate, attempt resolution, or withdraw entirely. But here's the truth. Her intensity isn't an issue to resolve. It's a measure of your emotional resilience. She isn't always probing deliberately. Sometimes she merely needs assurance. Can you withstand her fervor without faltering? Can you preserve composure in her disarray? A rooted man doesn't soothe her for his sake. He preserves composure because it's his nature. When distressed, he attends. When tearful, he remains. When aloof, he grants space. Not from frailty, but from emotional constancy. Women recall how a man evokes feeling. Not his resolution speed. Not his counsel volume, but whether they felt secure in his aura. When you cease reacting and commence attending, you demonstrate maturity. And that's uncommon because most men defend or detach. But the composed man, he's chaos's counterpoint. He upholds tranquility so resolutely that she eases. She trusts she can reveal fully around you. Complex, intense, unfiltered, without condemnation. That's what forges true closeness. You become her emotional foundation. So next time she's intense, don't hasten resolution. Simply remain. Let her witness your tranquility as inviolable. That regardless of her volume, your composure resonates stronger. Principle 5, you're at peace if she departs. This final one, it's the most demanding, yet most transformative. When you can regard a desired woman and affirm, if she exits, I'll thrive. You've triumphed. That's not conceit. That's self-regard. Most men cling excessively. They dread loss. Dread solitude. Dread irreplaceable absence. But clinging from fear dulls your allure. You grow needy, foreseeable, forgettable. The men women retain, they're those who could depart any time. Not from indifference, but from self-regard equally. When loss holds no terror, your conduct evolves. You cease pleading. You cease placating. You cease earning affection. Instead, you operate from selection. If she offers harmony, you remain. If turmoil, you depart. That resilience bewilders women positively because they're accustomed to pursuit, attachment, pleas for notice. But when you maintain composure through separation, poise through quiet, she reconsiders you. She recognizes you weren't retaining her. You were permitting her presence. And that transition from needing to selecting harmony alters all. Because genuine attraction emerges when solitude suffices. When joy isn't contingent on replies, when your path persists regardless. So release your grip. Let her observe that if she departs, you'll stride confidently. That's assurance. That's liberation. That's what renders you indelible. Attraction isn't about poise, strategies, or pretense. It's about evolving into the man who doesn't pursue presence. He generates it. The man who doesn't crave endorsement, he offers presence. When you embody that realm, women sense it inexplicably. So, if this resonated profoundly, type secrets in the comments. And remember, the most captivating man is the one who could have her but doesn't need.